Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today I want to talk about crafting for charity. There are so many wonderful organizations out there that will take donations of your cards and crafts and give them to people who could really use them. Today I'm going to show you how to make this card that would be perfect for any sort of Operation Right Home or Cards for Soldiers charity using supplies from our sponsor Papermart. You can find them online at www.papermart.com. Now let's go to the table and make this quick and easy card. Okay, the first thing we're going to do to make this card is to take a piece of cardstock and fold it in half. I'm using 110-pound heavyweight cardstock for my card. I'm using half of an 8.5 by 11-inch sheet, making an A2 size card. I'm also using pre-made A2 size card envelopes from Papermart. Operation Right Home requests store-bought envelopes as opposed to handmade, and I think that's because sometimes handmade envelopes get caught up in postal machinery, and we want to make sure these cards make it to their destination in perfect shape. I embossed a panel of navy cardstock, and now I'm squirting out a little bit of gesso so I can distress it and bring out the pattern in the cardstock. I used a star embossing folder, and I'm using a fan brush because it will allow me to drag the paint across without getting too much on my design. Now if you want, you can use regular white paint or white ink. It all depends on what you have. If you use white ink, make sure you heat set it because sometimes it doesn't want to dry on you. Embossing is such a great way to add texture to your card without adding a lot of weight or extra postage. And I'm just going to set that aside for a few minutes to dry. Now I had another piece of embossed paper left over from another card project, and I thought it would be great to add to this card to give it a little extra texture. It's a wood grain type of design, and what I'm going to do is just tear off about 1.5 inches from the bottom of that panel. And then I'm just going to hit it with a little bit of brown ink, and that will just kind of bring out the embossing and the texture of it. I applied adhesive to the back, and now I'm wrapping it with baker's twine in blue and red for a patriotic look. You can see how it sticks right into the double-sided tape I put on the back very nicely. And now we can start layering our card together. Don't skimp on adhesive when you are putting together a card that may go overseas. You want to make sure it makes it there in one piece. So I put 3 strips of ATG adhesive on the back of my embossed panel, and I'm centering it on my folded card base. By the way, if you hear any peeps in the background, it's because we just got baby chicks and they are in their little brooding box right behind me now, and I can totally hear them peeping, and I don't know if you can or not. I'm adding that little panel that we added our baker's twine to the bottom of this card. I decided it needed a little bit more adhesive because the twine kind of covered a lot of the adhesive I put down to begin with. And when you have that textured paper, you really want to make sure you have plenty of strong adhesive to hold it down. I just remembered I wanted to add some pretty red mesh ribbon to my card, so I gently peeled back the panel I'd already stuck down and then added more adhesive so I could add the red mesh. Just make sure you press everything down good and then just trim off the excess. One question I get asked a lot is whether or not you can use glossy photo paper in place of glossy cardstock, and in this case you can. I don't recommend this with like high quality clear stamps, but it works great with rubber stamps. I'm using a motorcycle here from Local King rubber stamps, and I'm inking it up with some gold ink from an ink pad. Now I'm taking a gold marker and I'm kind of intensifying some of the colors. This is a technique I learned from Local King rubber stamps at a convention at one time, and I really liked it. After you feel like you've added enough of the gold marker, go ahead and grab a black marker and color in some of the parts that you want to be black. Here I want the wheels to be black, and then I'm just going to tap randomly over the motorcycle image just to kind of make it look a little rustic, and then you can press right down on the glossy paper. I like to breathe on it first, just to the stamp, that is, to re-moisten the ink, and then press it right down on the glossy paper and you will have a fantastic image. I'm going to repeat that same process with shades of red for the gas pump stamp too. Now we're ready to put the rest of this card together. Luckily I had die cuts for these stamps, so I simply die cut them out, and I'm going to use a strong glue to stick them down. I'm using Beacon 3-in-1 adhesive. It's kind of like a cold hot glue. It's really strong. It marries well on textured surfaces like our embossed paper, and I know it's not going to come apart if it is exposed to high humidity, high heat, cold, or anything like that. So very important if you're sending cards overseas. So I'm just tucking the gas pump in behind the layered panel, and I'm just going to glue the motorcycle down on top. You can choose to keep your card generic and blank, or you can add a sentiment to it, such as thinking of you, thank you, or happy birthday. I decided I would put a happy birthday sentiment on this card, and if you are considering donating this to Operation Right Home, you can look for cards that they're looking for on their website. I'll put a link below so you can check it out if you're curious. Sometimes they need happy birthday ones, sometimes they want them blank, and there are deadlines for holiday and seasonal cards too, if that's what you like to make. I hope this gave you some great ideas for crafting for charity. If you have a favorite charity you want to let us know about, please leave it in the comments below because we would all love to check it out. Because I know you guys are all over the world and I want to make sure that if you want to help, you can find some place to do it. I want to thank you so much for watching today. Please check out our sponsor, Papermart. You can find them online at www.papermart.com, where we make you look even better. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Until next time, happy crafting!